13 things you shouldn't do in an automatic transmission car if you want your vehicle to last more than 300,000 miles. Car Help Out, your local certified mobile mechanic auto car repair service near me. Automatic transmissions have taken over the world, and for good reason. They make driving so much easier. You don't have to worry about a clutch pedal. You don't need to perfectly time your gear shifts. You just put the car in drive. And you go. This convenience is why most people today choose an automatic car. It simplifies your daily commute, especially in heavy stop-and-go traffic where constantly working a clutch can be a real pain in the leg. The car does all the hard work for you, shifting gears smoothly without you even noticing. It's a modern marvel of engineering that has made driving accessible and less stressful for millions of people. But here's the thing most people forget. That convenience comes with a catch. Your automatic transmission is one of the most complex and expensive parts of your entire vehicle. It's a maze of gears, clutches, hydraulic passages, sensitive electronics, all working together in perfect harmony. Think of it as the brain and muscle of your car's drivetrain, deciding exactly when to shift for the best performance and fuel economy. When it works, it's brilliant. But when it breaks, you're looking at a repair bill that can easily run into thousands of dollars. Sometimes it can cost more to fix the transmission than the car is even worth. Many drivers treat their transmission like a magic box that will last forever without any care. They just expect it to work day in and day out. No questions asked. This is a huge mistake. The truth is, your driving habits have a direct and powerful impact on the health and lifespan of your automatic transmission. Every time you get behind the wheel, the choices you make can either help it last for hundreds of thousands of miles or send it to an early grave. You might not realize it, but simple, everyday actions can be slowly grinding away at its delicate internal components, leading to a catastrophic failure down the road. That's why I'm writing this. I've been a mechanic for over 50 years, and I've seen countless transmissions destroyed because of simple, preventable mistakes. People come to my shop with a hefty repair bill, wishing they had known what to do differently. The good news is that you can avoid becoming one of them. By understanding how your transmission works and what actions harm it, you can save yourself a mountain of cash and a whole lot of headaches. It all starts with learning what not to do. In the following sections, we're going to count down the 13 most common and costly mistakes that will absolutely wreck your transmission. Getting your car to last for 300,000 miles might sound like a fantasy, but I'm here to tell you it's entirely possible. I see cars with that kind of mileage all the time, and they're not always the most expensive models. The secret isn't buying a certain brand. It's about how you treat the car you already own. A well-maintained engine and a healthy transmission can keep going and going long after other people have scrapped their vehicles. The key is knowledge and discipline. You are the single most important factor in your car's longevity. It's not about luck. It's about making smart choices every single day you drive. Think of your car as a long-term investment. You wouldn't throw your money away on purpose. So why would you do things that destroy the value of your vehicle? Taking care of your transmission is one of the best ways to protect that investment. A car with a healthy, smooth-shifting transmission is more reliable and pleasant to drive, and it also has a much higher resale value. When it comes time to sell, a potential buyer will walk away fast if the transmission slips, jerks, makes strange noises. Good maintenance is like putting money back in your own pocket for later. The journey to a high-mileage hero car begins with avoiding bad habits. Many of the things that kill transmissions are actions drivers do without a second thought. They seem harmless at the time, but over months and years, they add up to serious wear and tear. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. From the way you shift gears to how you handle hills, small changes in your driving routine can add tens of thousands of miles to your transmission's life. You don't need to be a professional mechanic to do this. You just need to be an informed and careful driver. So get ready to learn the secrets that will keep your car on the road and out of the repair shop. We will go through a countdown of 13 critical mistakes you need to stop making right now. Each point will explain what the mistake is, why it's so damaging to your automatic transmission, and the simple change you can make to avoid it. If you follow this advice, you'll save a fortune on potential repairs, and you'll be well on your way to joining the exclusive 300,000-mile club. Let's get started and save that transmission. We're starting our countdown with a common mistake I see all the time, especially with younger drivers or those who used to drive a manual car. This is mistake number 13, shifting from reverse to drive while the car is still moving. People do this when they're in a hurry trying to pull a quick 3-point turn or get out of a parking spot fast. They'll be rolling backward, and before the car comes to a complete halt, they slam the gear selector into drive. To them, it feels seamless and efficient. But what they can't see is the stress on the transmission's internals. Think about what you're asking your car to do. The transmission is spinning wheels one way, and you suddenly command the exact opposite. All that momentum has to go somewhere. The parts that take the hit are the transmission band's clutches. These parts engage gears. They're not brakes for a heavy vehicle. Forcing stop and go creates a massive shock load. It's like running full speed and someone grabbing you to run the other way. You're going to feel it, and it's not good. A single rolling shift might not kill it instantly, but cumulative damage will. Each rolling shift adds wear and tear. Transmission bands can stretch, clutch packs can glaze from friction, and heat-sensitive valve bodies can get damaged. Over time, that becomes slipping gears, harsh or delayed shifting, and finally a transmission that refuses to work. It's a slow, silent killer, and repairs scream at your wallet. The fix is simple, but needs discipline. Always come to a complete stop before shifting between reverse and drive. Let your brakes do their job. Press the brake pedal firmly, wait until the car is perfectly still, then move the gear selector. 2 extra seconds now can add years to your transmission. Tiny time investment, huge savings later. Now for mistake number 12. This is one that almost everyone is guilty of. It's relying solely on your transmission to hold your car in place when you park, especially on a hill. You pull into a spot, shift the gear lever straight to park, turn off the engine. You might hear a clunk as the car settles, and you probably don't think twice about it. You've just put the entire weight of your car on a tiny metal pin inside your transmission called the parking pawl. This little piece is not much bigger than your finger, and it was never designed to hold thousands of pounds of steel on an incline. The park position in an automatic transmission works by engaging this parking pawl. It's a small, pin-like mechanism that slots into a notched ring connected to the transmission's output shaft, effectively locking it in place and preventing the wheels from turning. When you park on a flat surface, there isn't much force on it. But when you park on a hill, gravity is constantly trying to pull your car downwards. All of that force gets concentrated on that small pawl and the ring it's engaged with. This can cause the pawl to wear down, get chipped, or, in a worst-case scenario, shear right off. When the parking pawl is under a lot of strain, you'll often notice it's very difficult to shift the car out of park. You have to yank the lever hard, and it comes out with a loud, jarring clunk. That sound is the pawl being forcefully dislodged from the gear under immense pressure. This is a clear sign that you are abusing your transmission. Repeatedly doing this can damage the pawl, the linkage connected to your gear shifter, and other internal transmission components. Eventually, you might find that the pawl fails entirely, and your car could roll away unexpectedly, or it could get stuck in park, leaving you stranded. The fix is easy and involves using a feature your car already has: the parking brake. It's also known as the emergency brake or handbrake. Before you shift your car into park, come to a complete stop with your foot on the main brake pedal. Then engage the parking brake firmly. You'll feel the car settle as the brake takes the weight. After the parking brake is set, you can then shift the transmission into park and turn off the engine. This simple two-step process takes the load off the delicate parking pawl and puts it on the robust braking system, which is designed for that exact purpose. It's a habit that will save your transmission. Coming in at number 11, a mistake born from pure neglect: not checking your transmission fluid. Your engine oil gets all the attention, but transmission fluid is just as vital. It lubricates the moving parts. It acts as a hydraulic fluid. Clutches engage. It allows the gears to shift. It cools the transmission, carries away heat. When fluid level is too low, all these functions are compromised. Not enough fluid to lubricate, not enough fluid to create hydraulic pressure, not enough fluid to dissipate heat. Low fluid is a recipe for disaster. Insufficient lubrication, metal-on-metal grinding, and rapid wear. Lack of hydraulic pressure can cause slipping gears, delayed engagement, erratic shifting. Clutches and bands aren't getting the force they need. Worst of all, overheating. Running too hot cooks the fluid into dark, burnt-smelling sludge. Burnt fluid loses protective qualities. It can clog tiny passages in the valve body. That leads to total failure. Now, mistake number 10. Ignoring warning signs. Your car can't talk, but it will try to tell you. These messages arrive as strange noises, unusual smells, changes in performance. You might hear a whining sound, a buzzing sound, a humming sound that changes with engine speed. You might notice a burning smell, like burnt toast. The check engine light may come on, or a dedicated transmission warning light may illuminate. These are urgent cries for help. Ignoring them is like ignoring chest pain. A small problem, like a minor fluid leak, can be cheap and easy to fix if caught early. Keep driving and ignore the whining or the light, and that small leak becomes catastrophic internal damage. What could have been a $100 seal or hose fix can spiral into a multi-thousand-dollar transmission rebuild or transmission replacement. Pay attention to your car. If it feels different, sounds different, smells different, get it checked immediately. Early diagnosis is the key to avoiding a financial nightmare. All right, let's dive into mistake number 9, and this one is a real killer that many well-intentioned do-it-yourselfers get wrong. It's using the wrong type of automatic transmission fluid, or ATF. You might think that all transmission fluid is the same, just some red liquid you pour into the car. That could not be further from the truth. Modern automatic transmissions are incredibly sophisticated, and each manufacturer designs them to work with a very specific fluid formulation. This isn't like engine oil where you have some flexibility with brands. The type of ATF is critically important. There are dozens of different specifications like Dexron, Mercon, ATF, plus 4 various CVT fluids, and they are not interchangeable. Using the wrong fluid is like giving someone the wrong blood type during a transfusion. It might seem to work for a short while, but internally chaos is unfolding. The wrong fluid will have a different viscosity, different friction modifiers, and different additives. This means it won't provide the correct level of friction for the clutch packs to engage properly. This can cause slipping, which generates a massive amount of heat, or it can cause harsh, jerky shifts because the clutches are grabbing too aggressively. It's a surefire way to destroy the delicate balance inside your transmission and cause premature wear on every single moving part it touches. The damage from using the wrong ATF might not be immediate. but it is inevitable. The incorrect fluid can also damage the seals and gaskets inside the transmission, causing them to swell or shrink, which leads to leaks. Over time, the fluid will break down faster because it's not designed for the operating temperatures and pressures of your specific transmission. This leads to sludge and varnish buildup that can clog the tiny, intricate passages of the valve body and solenoids. When these get clogged, your transmission's brain can no longer send the right hydraulic signals, and you're left with a car that won't shift correctly, or at all. So how do you avoid this costly blunder? It's simple. Read your owner's manual. The manufacturer of your car will state exactly which type of transmission fluid your vehicle requires. The specification will be clearly printed in the maintenance section. When you or your mechanic are topping off or changing the fluid, you must use a fluid that meets that exact specification. Don't let a shop tell you that their universal or multi-vehicle fluid is good enough. While some of those are decent, the safest bet is always the specific type recommended by the people who built the car. It's a simple check that can save you from a $4,000 repair bill. Coming in at number 8, a mistake driven by adrenaline and a desire for speed. It's called launching your car. You're at a complete stop, maybe at a red light, and you want to take off as fast as possible. Technique: hold the brake pedal, rev the engine to high RPM, then suddenly release the brake. Car lurches forward, tires squeal, that race car driver feeling for a split second. Looks cool in movies, but in reality you inflict brutal stress and shock on the drivetrain. Transmission takes the brunt. Let's break down what's happening internally. Holding the brake and revving in drive loads the torque converter to its absolute limit. Torque converter, a fluid coupling connecting engine to transmission. You're forcing it to slip at very high speed, generating massive heat in the transmission fluid. Instantly, release the brake, and that stored energy is unleashed in a violent shockwave through the transmission's input, shaft gears, clutches, axles, and wheels. It's the automotive equivalent of a punch to the gut. These abuses have severe consequences. Heat spikes can cook transmission fluid, degrading its protective qualities. Shock loads can crack gears, break transmission bands, fry clutch packs. You can even damage the input shaft or the torque converter itself. One launch can cause significant damage, especially in older vehicles. Repeated launches guarantee a short, expensive transmission life. Solution: change your mindset. Your daily driver is not a drag racer. Automatic transmissions are designed for smooth, progressive engagement. Accelerate by pressing the gas smoothly. The car is engineered to deliver power efficiently and safely that way. Don't preload the engine and shock the system. If you want that acceleration, go to a racetrack and rent a car built for that purpose. Sacrificing transmission health for a 2-second thrill at a light is a terrible trade-off. Drive smart, and your transmission will thank you for it. Our countdown continues with mistake number 7, which is a sin of omission rather than commission. It's the habit of leaving your car in drive. That's D. No matter what the driving conditions are, most drivers are taught to put the car in drive and forget about it. For most flat open roads, that's fine. But your gear selector has other options for a reason. 2-1L, low, manual shifting mode. These gears are tools to protect the transmission for situations like going up steep hills and going down steep hills. Ignoring them is a big mistake. Let's consider driving down a long, steep grade. If you stay in drive, your car will pick up speed. You'll have to constantly ride your brakes. That can cause brakes to overheat and fail, brake fade, and it also strains the transmission. The transmission may upshift to save fuel, making you go faster, forcing harder braking. It's a cycle of braking and accelerating that wears out brake pads and rotors and creates excess heat. Use lower gears for engine braking. Shift into a lower gear like 2 or L, and the engine runs at higher RPM. That resistance slows the car naturally. With less brake use, it keeps brakes cool and gives much better control on descents. Same thing uphill. Lower gears stop the transmission from hunting between gears, reducing wear and overheating. Learn to use lower gears. It makes you safer and preserves the transmission. Check your owner's manual for what each gear does. If you're constantly using brakes downhill, shift down. The higher revs might feel odd, but you are not hurting the engine. You're using the car as designed, saving brakes and transmission. Now we're getting into the serious stuff. Mistake number 6, improper towing. This covers 2 big errors. Towing a load that's heavier than your vehicle's official rating, not using the right gear or mode when you do tow. Many people think that if their car has a tow hitch, they can pull just about anything. They'll hook up a large boat, a heavy camper, a trailer loaded with furniture. This is an incredibly dangerous practice that puts an enormous strain on every part of your vehicle, but the transmission is often the first and most expensive victim. It is simply not designed to handle that kind of excessive load. Your vehicle has a specific maximum towing capacity for a reason. This number is carefully calculated by engineers based on the strength of the car's frame, suspension, brakes, engine power, and critically, the transmission's ability to handle stress and dissipate heat. When you exceed this weight limit, you are forcing the transmission to work far beyond its design parameters. The torque converter will be slipping constantly, generating a catastrophic amount of heat. This extreme heat is the #1 enemy of an automatic transmission. It quickly degrades the transmission fluid, losing its ability to lubricate and cool, and can literally fry the internal clutches and seals. Even if you are towing within your vehicle's weight limit, you can still destroy your transmission if you do it incorrectly. Many drivers make the mistake of leaving the gear selector in drive while towing. In this mode, the transmission will try to shift to the highest possible gear to maximize fuel economy. This is the exact opposite of what you want. A high gear puts a huge load on the engine and transmission, causing it to lug and struggle. This generates more heat and can cause the transmission to constantly shift up and down. Gear hunting, which creates excessive wear on the clutches and bands. To avoid this costly mistake, you must first know your vehicle's towing capacity, which is listed in the owner's manual. Never exceed it. Secondly, when you are towing, you should engage your vehicle's tow haul mode, if it has one. This button reprograms the transmission's shift points, holding lower gears longer to keep the engine in its power band and prevent constant shifting. If your car doesn't have this mode, you should manually shift out of overdrive or select a lower gear, like 3 or D3. This will achieve the same effect, keeping the transmission cooler and preventing it from straining. Towing smart is towing safe. For you and your car's transmission. Cracking the top 5, we have mistake number 5, constantly driving with a lead foot. We all need to accelerate quickly from time to time to merge onto a highway or get out of a tricky situation. But there's a big difference between occasional necessity and a consistent, aggressive driving style. I'm talking about the drivers who treat every green light like the start of a race, who are always flooring the gas pedal away from a stop, and who weave through traffic with abrupt speed changes. This kind of driving behavior might get you to your destination a few seconds earlier, but it takes a massive toll on your car, especially the automatic transmission. Every time you slam your foot on the accelerator, you're demanding maximum performance from your transmission instantaneously. This forces it to execute harsh, high-pressure downshifts and then full-throttle upshifts. While it's designed to handle this occasionally, making it a daily habit subjects the internal components to constant shock and stress. The clutches and bands have to engage much more forcefully, creating extra friction and heat. The solenoids and valve body are working overtime, and the fluid pressure spikes. It's like sprinting everywhere you go instead of walking. Eventually, your body is going to break down from the constant strain. The same is true for your transmission. This aggressive style has a direct impact on the life of your transmission fluid. The frequent high-stress situations generate significantly more heat than smooth, gentle driving. As we've learned, heat is the ultimate killer of transmission fluid. It causes the fluid to break down, oxidize, and lose its vital lubricating and cooling properties much faster than normal. Burnt, degraded fluid can't protect the moving parts, leading to accelerated wear throughout the entire transmission. So, your aggressive driving not only wears out the mechanical parts through shock, but also ruins the very lifeblood that is supposed to protect them. It's a double whammy of destruction. The solution is simple in theory, but requires conscious effort. Be a smoother driver. Anticipate traffic flow and avoid unnecessary acceleration and braking. When you need to speed up, apply pressure to the gas pedal progressively rather than stomping on it. Allow the transmission to shift smoothly through its gears as the engineers intended. This doesn't mean you have to drive like a snail. It just means being gentle with your inputs and planning your moves. A smooth driving style will not only save your transmission, but will also dramatically improve your fuel economy and reduce wear on your brakes and tires, saving you money all around. At number 4, we find a mistake that comes from not fully understanding a key feature of modern automatic transmissions, the overdrive function. Overdrive is the highest gear in your transmission. Its purpose is to reduce engine RPM at cruising speeds, primarily on the highway. This saves fuel. It makes for a quieter cabin and a more relaxed drive. Most cars will automatically shift into overdrive. Many have a button to disable it. The button is often labeled OD off, or it uses a similar overdrive symbol. The mistake is leaving overdrive engaged all the time, especially in city traffic, or when driving on hilly terrain. In stop-and-go city driving, your speed rarely gets high enough for overdrive to be effective. Yet, the transmission may still try to shift into it, only to immediately shift back down as you slow for the next light or car. This constant cycle of shifting in and out is called shift busyness or gear hunting. Every shift, no matter how small, causes tiny wear on the clutches and bands inside the transmission. When this happens over and over in city driving, that tiny wear adds up quickly, leading to premature failure of these critical components. The problem is even more pronounced when driving in hilly areas or when carrying a heavy load. Going up a hill in overdrive, the engine can feel like it's struggling or lugging. The transmission will then downshift to get more power. But as the incline lessens, it may try to shift back up to overdrive too soon. This back and forth creates a lot of heat and puts significant strain on the transmission. You're forcing it to work much harder than necessary, when you could easily help it by making one simple choice. The correct way to use this feature is to be strategic. On the open highway at a steady speed, overdrive is your best friend. let it do its job. However, if you're in heavy, slow-moving traffic or driving on roads with lots of hills, it's wise to turn the overdrive off. This locks the transmission out of its highest gear, preventing the constant hunting and reducing wear and heat buildup. Your car will feel more responsive, and your transmission will run cooler and last longer. Understanding when to use and when to disable overdrive is a key skill for any smart driver looking to save their transmission. We are now in the top 3. Mistake number 3 is arguably one of the most common and destructive acts of neglect: never, ever changing the automatic transmission fluid. Many people are diligent about changing their engine oil every 5,000 miles, but the transmission fluid is often completely forgotten. Some manufacturers have contributed to this confusion by marketing so-called lifetime fluids, leading owners to believe the fluid is good for the entire life of the vehicle. This is dangerously misleading. There is no such thing as a fluid that lasts forever, especially not in a high-stress environment like an automatic transmission. This belief is a direct path to a dead transmission. Over time, transmission fluid wears out just like any other lubricant. The constant heat generated during operation gradually breaks down the complex additives within the fluid. These additives are what provide the specific frictional properties for the clutches, prevent corrosion, help keep seals pliable. As the fluid degrades, it loses its ability to lubricate and to cool effectively. Worse yet, tiny metal particles from normal wear on the gears and clutches become suspended in the fluid. This turns your once clean red lubricant into a dark, abrasive slurry that grinds away at the delicate internal components every second your car is running. It's like sandpaper flowing through your transmission's veins. The consequences of running on old, worn-out fluid are severe and irreversible. The abrasive particles will wear down seals, leading to internal and external leaks. The degraded fluid can't manage heat, causing the transmission to run hotter and hotter, which accelerates the breakdown even further in a vicious cycle. This extreme heat can warp metal parts, glaze over clutch surfaces so they can't grip anymore, and cook rubber seals until they become hard and brittle. Eventually, the dirty fluid will clog the fine mesh of the transmission filter and the microscopic passages in the valve body, starving the system of pressure and leading to catastrophic failure. To avoid this guaranteed disaster, you must change your transmission fluid at regular intervals. Forget the lifetime myth. Check your owner's manual for the manufacturer's recommended service interval. But I'll tell you from experience, for most vehicles under normal driving conditions, changing the fluid and filter every 30,000 to 60,000 miles is a wise investment. Change the fluid. Change the filter. If you do a lot of heavy towing or aggressive city driving, you should do it even more frequently. A transmission fluid service is a routine maintenance item that costs a fraction of a new transmission. Neglecting it is like refusing to brush your teeth and then being shocked when you need a full set of dentures. Coming in at the number 2 spot, ignoring a transmission fluid leak. You might notice a small reddish puddle, brownish puddle on your driveway, on your garage floor, under the front part of your car. It's easy to dismiss it, thinking, it's just a small spot, I'll get to it later. This is a catastrophic error in judgment. A transmission fluid leak won't fix itself. It's a critical warning sign that will only get worse. Unlike engine oil, transmission fluid is in a sealed system and doesn't burn off. If the level is low, you have a leak. That small puddle is a breach. Your automatic transmission needs precise fluid to work. The fluid creates hydraulic pressure to engage gears, apply clutches. When the fluid level drops even a little, pressure falls. That can cause the transmission to slip between gears, shift, erratically hesitate when put in drive. Every slip burns the clutches, creating intense friction and heat. Driving with low fluid destroys the internals, even if the leak seems minor. Small leaks can quickly become catastrophic. A worn-out seal, a cracked hose can fail suddenly while driving, especially on the highway. The transmission can pump out all its fluid in minutes. Once it's gone, there is no lubrication, no hydraulic pressure. Parts will grind, heat up, and can literally weld together. The transmission will seize, and you'll be stranded facing thousands of dollars in replacement costs. See any sign of a leak? Take immediate action. Don't drive it. Only to a repair shop. Check the fluid with the dipstick if you have one. Good fluid is reddish pink and slightly sweet. Dark brown and burnt-smelling fluid means damage. Fixes can be simple. Replace a dried-out gasket, replace a pan seal, replace a cooler line. Ignoring that small red spot can turn a $100 fix into a $5,000 catastrophe. It's the second biggest mistake because it's common and totally avoidable. And here it is, the number one most costly, most destructive mistake you can possibly make: continuing to drive your car when you know there is a problem with the transmission. This goes beyond simple neglect. It is actively choosing to destroy your vehicle. This is when your car is giving you clear, undeniable signs of trouble. The check engine light is on, the car is jerking, slipping, making loud whining noises, refusing to shift properly, and you just keep driving it. You might be hoping the problem will magically disappear, or you're trying to put off the inevitable repair bill. This is the worst possible thing you can do. Let's be perfectly clear about what's happening inside. If you're struggling to come up with cash for an emergency auto repair, you're not alone. That's why auto car repair loans offer a convenient way to gain quick access to the money you need when an emergency pops up. With loans up to $2,500 to $5,000. Visit carhelpout.com/repair loan to get started today. Don't forget, if you ever need to sell your house fast and as-is condition anywhere in the U.S., either to stop foreclosure, avoid county tax auction, or unwanted house, go to boracina.com/car-help-out and get a relief under house burden. Don't forget, if your local small business or good service website needs more traffic exposure from Google, Yahoo, Bing, and other search engines, go to carhelpout.com/SEO. They can help you when it comes to local SEO and online digital marketing service consulting. When a transmission starts to fail, it's often a single component that is the initial culprit. It could be a faulty solenoid, a worn-out clutch pack, or a failing sensor. At this stage, the problem might be relatively contained and potentially fixable with a targeted, less expensive repair. However, when you continue to drive the car in this compromised state, you create a domino effect of destruction. The faulty part causes other parts to work harder, leading to more heat, more friction, and more stress throughout the entire system. You are turning a small, localized issue into a total system-wide meltdown. For example, if a solenoid fails and causes harsh shifting, the repeated shock loads can damage gears and clutch drums. If a clutch is slipping, the debris from the disintegrating clutch material will circulate through the fluid, clogging the filter and starving the entire transmission of lubrication. That debris will sandblast every other component it touches, including the sensitive valve body and the brand new parts a mechanic might try to install later. By the time you finally take it to the shop, the damage is so widespread that a simple repair is no longer an option. The entire unit is contaminated with debris and is effectively junk. This is why this mistake is number one. It is the point of no return. It's the decision that single-handedly turns a potentially manageable repair into a complete transmission replacement. If your car starts acting strangely, stop driving it. Get it towed to a reputable mechanic. Yes, a tow truck costs money, and a diagnosis isn't free. But that cost is a tiny fraction of what you will pay if you keep driving for another day or another week. Pulling over immediately is the single most important action you can take to save yourself thousands of dollars and give your transmission a fighting chance at survival. Don't ignore the screams for help from your car. As we've counted down these final critical mistakes, two common themes emerge as the arch enemies of your automatic transmission: excessive heat and simple neglect. Every single one of the top mistakes, from failing to change the fluid, ignoring a leak, driving with a problem, ultimately leads to a massive increase in operating temperature. Heat is the ultimate destroyer. It breaks down the fluid, it cooks the seals until they become brittle. It glazes the clutches so they can't grip it, warps the precision-machined metal components. Keeping your transmission cool is one of the most important things you can do for its longevity. The second enemy, neglect, is what allows the heat to build up in the first place. Neglect is failing to perform the basic maintenance, like fluid changes that are designed to manage heat and wear. Neglect is seeing a red puddle on the ground and choosing to ignore it. It's feeling the car jerk and slip and deciding to turn up the radio and hope it goes away. These are not mechanical failures. They are human failures. Your car gives you plenty of warning signs, from warning lights on the dash, strange noises, smells. These are its way of communicating that something is wrong and needs attention before it becomes a catastrophe. Mistakes 3, 2, and 1 are the most serious because they represent a complete breakdown in the relationship between a driver and their vehicle. They demonstrate a failure to provide the most basic level of care and attention. Changing the fluid is proactive maintenance. Addressing a leak is a reactive repair. But stopping the car when you know something is seriously wrong is just common sense. The cost of ignoring these issues grows exponentially. What starts as a simple, inexpensive problem quickly spirals into a complex, wallet-crushing disaster. That could have been easily avoided with a little bit of knowledge and responsible action. Ultimately, the power to save your transmission is in your hands. You don't need to be a mechanic, but you do need to be an attentive and responsible owner. Listen to your car, look for warning signs, and stick to a regular maintenance schedule. The difference between a car that lasts 100,000 miles and one that reaches 300,000 miles is rarely about the brand or the initial quality. It's almost always about the owner's habits and their commitment to avoiding these simple yet incredibly costly mistakes. By paying attention, you can conquer both heat and neglect, ensuring your transmission serves you reliably for many years to come. We've taken a long journey through the 13 most common and costly mistakes that can absolutely destroy your automatic transmission. We started with the simple, everyday bad habits and worked our way up to the most critical acts of neglect. We talked about the damage caused by shifting while moving, forgetting the parking brake, treating your car like a race car. We covered the importance of using the right fluid, towing properly, and understanding features like overdrive. Each of these points, from 13 all the way down to 1, represents a choice you make as a driver. They are all forks in the road, with one path leading to a long, healthy life for your car and the other leading straight to my repair shop. The central theme connecting all these mistakes is clear: your actions have direct and serious consequences. An automatic transmission is not a sealed, magical box that runs forever without care. It is a highly complex piece of machinery sensitive to abuse and neglect. Slamming it from reverse to drive causes shock damage. Parking on a hill without the parking brake puts immense strain on a tiny metal pawl. Using the wrong fluid is like poisoning it from the inside. Each of these actions contributes to wear and tear, generating excessive heat and friction that slowly, or sometimes very quickly, grinds your transmission into an expensive pile of junk. Let's quickly review the most critical points we covered. The top 3 mistakes, never changing the fluid, ignoring a leak, and continuing to drive with a known problem, are the absolute worst offenders. These are the mistakes that turn a manageable issue into a catastrophic failure. Old, dirty fluid acts like sandpaper a leak, starves the system of its lifeblood. Continuing to drive a malfunctioning car is like running on a broken leg. You're just compounding the damage with every mile. These aren't just mistakes, they are choices that guarantee a multi-$1,000 repair bill. The power to avoid this fate rests entirely with you, the driver. You are the captain of your ship. You decide whether to drive smoothly or aggressively. You decide whether to follow the maintenance schedule or to ignore it. You decide whether to investigate that strange noise or to turn up the radio and hope for the best. By understanding the mistakes we've discussed in this guide, you are now armed with the knowledge to make the right choices. You can actively protect your investment, save yourself a fortune in repairs, and ensure your car remains a reliable partner for many years and many miles. If we boil down everything we've learned into a few simple, memorable principles, we get the golden rules of transmission longevity. These are the core habits that will keep your transmission out of trouble. The first rule, be gentle. Avoid jackrabbit starts. Avoid aggressive acceleration. Avoid sudden, jerky maneuvers. Apply the gas pedal progressively. Let the transmission shift at its own pace. Gentle driving reduces shock load. Gentle driving minimizes heat buildup. Gentle driving cuts down on wear and tear. It's the single most effective thing you can do. The second rule, stay cool. Heat is the #1 enemy. Keep operating temperature in range. Avoid heat makers, aggressive driving. Avoid improper towing. Avoid transmission hunting for gears on hills. Ensure the cooling system is working. Transmission coolers sometimes sit in the radiator. Keep the cooling system in good shape. A cool transmission lasts longer. The third rule, be proactive. Take care before signs appear. Don't wait for a problem. Regular maintenance. Change transmission fluid. Change the transmission filter. Follow the owner's manual schedule. Shorten it for severe conditions. Use the correct fluid. Check fluid level periodically. Use gears intelligently. Turn off overdrive in the city. Use lower gears on steep hills. Prevent problems before they start. The fourth rule, listen to your car. Your car will usually tell you something's wrong. Pay attention to the signs. Listen for whining. Listen for humming. Listen for clunking sounds. Watch for shifting changes. Hesitation. Watch for slipping. Watch for harsh engagement. Notice smells like burning fluid. Never ignore a dashboard warning light. These are cries for help. Address symptoms immediately. Catch a small problem before it becomes a full transmission failure. While our focus has been on saving your transmission, it's important to remember that your car is a complete system. The health of one major component is often linked to the health of others. Taking a holistic approach to car care will support your transmission and help you reach 300,000 miles. For example, the transmission's cooling is tied to the engine's radiator. If your engine is overheating due to a faulty thermostat or low coolant, it can cause your transmission fluid to overheat. That overheating leads to the transmission problems we've discussed. Think about your car's electrical system. Modern automatics are controlled by a computer that relies on sensors. Engine speed sensor, throttle position sensor, vehicle speed sensor. If a sensor fails, a weak battery or a faulty alternator provides unstable voltage, the transmission gets bad data. That can cause erratic shifting, poor performance, and unnecessary mechanical stress. Everything is connected. The same logic applies to your tires and suspension. Unevenly worn tires or improperly inflated tires can throw off wheel speed sensors, confusing the transmission and ABS. Worn suspension parts cause vibrations, sending extra stress through the drivetrain. Old spark plugs can make the engine run rough, forcing the transmission to work harder, which accelerates wear. A healthy car is healthy components working in harmony. Protect the whole car to protect the transmission. Follow your owner's manual maintenance schedule. Engine oil changes, coolant flushes, brake inspections, tune-ups, care for the engine, the cooling system, and the electrical system, and you indirectly care for the transmission. This comprehensive maintenance reduces stress on every part and paves a smoother road toward 300,000 miles. You now have the knowledge. You understand the mistakes to avoid and the good habits to adopt. Put it all into practice. Start your journey to becoming a high-mileage hero. This is your final checklist for success. First, commit to smoother, gentler driving. Accelerate progressively. Anticipate your stops. This change costs nothing. It pays massive dividends for your transmission and for your entire car. It's the foundation for all good habits. Second, get to know your owner's manual. Don't let it sit in the glove box. Read the maintenance section. Find the exact transmission fluid your car needs. Know the recommended service interval. Learn what the different gears are for. Learn when to use them. Understand your dashboard warning lights. The manual is the official instruction book from the engineers. It's your most valuable resource. Ignoring it leads to costly mistakes. Third, create a proactive maintenance plan and stick to it. Don't wait for things to break. Schedule transmission fluid changes. Schedule filter changes. Check transmission fluid monthly. Check engine oil monthly. Check coolant monthly. Walk around and look under your car for leaks. Listen for new or unusual noises. Be proactive and stay ahead of problems. Fix small things before they become big bills. This discipline makes 300,000-mile cars possible. Finally, find a mechanic you can trust. If you're not a seasoned DIYer, get a professional partner. A good mechanic performs services correctly, uses the right parts and fluids, gives you sound advice. They spot developing problems you might miss. Ask questions. Build a relationship. A trusted expert is an invaluable asset. Follow these steps. Avoid the 13 mistakes. Your car can serve you reliably for a long, long time. Now go out there and drive smart. CarHelpo.com is the best way to get a mobile mechanic auto car repair service shop on wheels to come to you. Whether you're stuck at home or on the side of the road, our mobile mechanics are ready to assist you. We bring the repair shop to your location to save you time and hassle. We also provide emergency vehicle roadside assistance, such as car battery jump start, flat tire road service, running out of gas service if your vehicle stops or has a problem on the side of the road or any business parking lot. We understand that car troubles can be stressful, so we aim to provide quick and efficient solutions to get you back on the road as soon as possible. Additionally, we offer pre-purchase used car buying inspection checkup services review. Whether you're buying from local dealership or private car owner seller, either from Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, automotive auction, or anywhere else, we can help you with PPI inspection. We can come to you at any location, whether it's your home driveway, your office parking lot, or even if you're stranded on the roadside.
CarHelpout.com. It's the convenience.